So I've got this question a few times, so I feel like I should just answer it in a video. Gore-gruntaz and Mighty Destroyerz. This is something that I learned from Aaron Newbaum, and it's something that I've talked about a lot, and people are asking me exactly how it's supposed to work, so let's take a look. But before we do, thanks to all the patrons, thanks to Wybarian for the art, and thanks to Baron of Dice for supporting the channel. Wah. So here I have just, a setup or whatever. So I got some Gore-gruntaz, and this is 2 different unit of Gut-rippers, and some, kill bosses on Vultures in the back. So here's the idea. If we have a line of 3 Gore-gruntaz, and we were to charge them into battle like this, what we're doing is we're effectively touching all 3 of these units in combat. Cool. These guys have to be a half an inch within each other, right? So let's just say that they're a half inch, whatever. They look like they're a half inch. Why does it say Anyway, they look like they're close enough. So essentially what this does is it puts our opponent in a really weird position where all 3 of them are all fighting this one Gore-gruntaz. Cool. So if you were the Cruel Boys player, which unit are you choosing to activate first? Let's say, for example, that they activated this kill boss and moved the kill boss 3 inches towards us. I probably didn't do a great job of this. I feel like I'm too close. Here's the idea. So it's like this. So here's how you would have charged, right? You would have charged in such a way that, I'm still learning this stuff myself, right? We have to end our charge within half an inch of this guy here. But we're not within combat range of this guy back here, but we are within combat range of this guy here. So this would be like the ideal setup, where it's like, okay, so we've tagged all 3 of these units in combat, right? We're 3 inches away from all 3 of these units. This is pretty good. So it doesn't matter with which unit you pile in first. If you pile in with this unit first, well, they are still within range. But if you pile with the Gut-rippers in first, and you fight the Gore-gruntaz, well, then this Gore-gruntaz, when I remove it from combat, is no longer in combat with the other 2 Vultures in the back. And then once this Gore-gruntaz is pulled out of combat, these 2 Vultures in the back don't get to fight in the combat phase. These pigs get to fight, let's say, this unit of Gut-rippers, right? But these two Vultures no longer get to. They have now been removed from combat. So let's just say that we piled in 3 inches with our Gut-rippers this way. Whatever. We also, because we came in at this really weird angle, we didn't allow a lot of the Gut-rippers to fight. A lot of the Gut-rippers didn't get to pile in. Okay, good. So what we did was we prevented... we tagged these other 2 guys in combat, but they didn't get to actually do their damage and swing. That's not the really important part. The important part is... once we are back into the hero phase and it's time for us to Mighty Destroyerz again, we're going to Mighty Destroyerz our pig 3 inches forward, which is going to put him back in combat range with these guys in the back. I know that we're not 4 inches, or we're not 3 inches away here, but I think you kind of get the idea. So now it's our opponent's turn, and it's their move phase. We've tagged this guy in combat. He can't move anywhere. This guy can, whatever, we don't care, but this guy can't. And so combat comes back again, and our opponent is going to choose which one of these guys they want to pile in on us again. If they choose the Vulture who piles in, if they're able to kill another boss, well, guess what? We're not in combat range anymore, right? We've taken one away. And then, on our turn, we can Mighty Destroyerz back into combat. Not that we even need to, because we could charge our way into combat here, right? Because it's back to our turn. But that's kind of the idea. The idea is that what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to end our charge in such a way that we're bringing other units into combat with us. But the other pigs are going to sit behind, and they're going to stay far away. And then, if the Vulture boss is going to pile in 3 inches and fight, well, we're going to remove it. The Gut-rippers aren't in combat anymore. They don't get to pile in. And then, during our opponent's turn, we're going to Mighty Destroyerz ourselves right back in and put them in the same position. They're still pinned. if we put all of our pigs into combat with both the Gut-Rippers and the Kill Boss, the probability that our opponent is able to lift all 3 of these goes up significantly. The Gore-gruntaz are going to be able to deal more damage because all of them are in combat range to fight against these things, but that's not what they're there for. The pigs are not there to fight, right? They're there to be like damage sponges. So if you got your little 3-inch widgets when you're moving these pigs around, it's like measure 3 away from this guy. Make sure that wherever you charge, that you're tagging that corner, right? So that you are 3 inches away. You are tagging the Vulture or this other unit into combat, and the other pigs can do something like take an objective. The other pigs can do something like create weird lines that maybe your opponent wants to charge through, and you've created this weird conga line so that on your opponent's turn they're not able to actually get where they want to go. And then again, it doesn't matter if these Gut-Rippers are the ones that are fighting, like they're gonna pile in, they're gonna make their pile in moves, whatever. It's probably not what the opponent was hoping for. And then when they kill a pig, maybe 2 on the next turn, on your opponent's next turn, you're just gonna Mighty Destroyerz and hopefully get within range of multiple targets again. You're tar pitting, you're alpha pinning, you're throwing these at your opponent, and then as you remove models, you're Mighty Destroyering them back into combat on your opponent's turn so that your opponent can't go anywhere. Does that make sense? You're positioning your pigs in such a way that your opponent is not able to throw all of the damage potential that they could at your pigs. And then you're just Mighty Destroyering back into combat range to make it super annoying for your opponent. Imagine if you did this to your opponent on 2 flanks simultaneously. You're probably not going to be doing this turn 1. I mean, you might be doing it turn 1. But you could definitely, like on your second turn be doing really annoying things like this. I mean, you could do it on your first turn if you're playing Kragnos, right? It depends on like deployments and stuff. If your opponent is deployed on the line here and you're deployed on the line here and there's 18 inches in between, it's not a super likely charge, right? Because we do have 9 inches to go, right? And then we have another 9 inches to go, if not 10. It looks like in this case it's going to be 9, right? But again, if you're able to make that charge, if you're able to tag multiple things in combat, look how bloody annoying this is. Vulture boss fights. Okay, bye pig. Oh, Gut-Rippers don't get to fight? No, they don't. Oh, it's your turn next. Oh, it's your turn next, opponent. Cruel Boys player, you go. Okay, well, in the hero phase, I'm just going to Mighty Destroyerz back into combat with you here. And so the Vulture boss and the Gut-Rippers are both pinned. They can't do any redeploys. They can't do any movement shenanigans. This Vulture boss can't fly 14 inches across the map. And the whole time, the rest, my Ard boys are taking up positions on these circles. I got my Boss Rock Towers out here to deny charges even after they come at me. Anyway, that's how the mechanic works. That's how that interaction works. It only really works with Gore-gruntaz because our ability to remove them from combat and all this. So let me know what you think. Did I miss something? Is there another way that we can abuse this mechanic? Don't forget, I am also trying to learn by making these videos and having this channel. Join the Discord. Like, subscribe. Wah.